Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It's Thursday evening and this evening we are talking readers' comments, subscribers' comments, viewers' comments, comments in general, and basically just a catch up on a £20 per week food budget. Because I know there's a lot of people thinking different things and just, what about doing that? What about doing this? And yeah, there's so many different options. So I thought today we would have a look at them. But I have to tell you first, my tuna pasta mix thing was stunningly fabulous. I absolutely loved that. Honest to goodness, I was sitting in my chair like a beached whale. I was just like, totally loving it. And so I took it to lunch today as well and ate probably more than I should have. But I thoroughly enjoyed that. So that was a big positive for today. So what am I having tonight for dinner? I have no clue. So there's no costings just now. I'll do them later on at the end of the week now, because there's not much later on in the week left. But yeah, because I've got the bread now, I'm having my normal toast with butter and jam in the morning, and my lunch is more than likely whatever's left over from dinner, which is fine. I'm good with that. I still have soup because I had the makings of lentil soups. So I still have soup in the freezer, and I still have different batch cooked meals that I've done before. So I will do an inventory at the weekend, and I'll probably do again like I did last week, like a PowerPoint with this is now what I've got, this is what I did, and here's what's left, this is what's in my pantry now from the £20 per week food budget. So let me have a look and see what some of the questions are. And not all questions. We'll start with the food banks. I had said that the food banks are, I like to try and get what they need. And obviously, as people said, ask them. Good point. And there was a thing with beans and pasta and things, and they're saying that actually it's getting now that people don't have the electricity to be cooking them for any length of time. And somebody had put that tinned lentils and beans, they're starting to enjoy them more now because they're tinned. They don't have to be cooked as much. So although it's slightly more expensive than buying the dried pulses, once you take into account the cooking costs, etc., it works out not too bad. So that's something to look at. Also, somebody had said in the comments they need less like pasta and beans and stuff, and more like tinned soups, tinned meals, like the chicken and white sauce that I get, or the minced beef and onion, or your big hearty soups that you get. Something that's almost a proper meal in a tin, because that's much easier to heat up for them. And I mean, let's be honest, if push comes to shove, you can just about heat that up on a tea light if you have to. But also, what I completely forgot about, what about the personal care? What about the soaps, the shampoos, the toothpaste, etc.? Food banks need that as well. So we need to be dealing with that. So we will be looking at that for when we donate. However, I have also, when I've gone to the places where we've done the Making a Difference donations, when we've done like the community fridges, etc., I've mainly given cash. And I did actually ask the local one in Crieff, because I get on quite well with them, because I used to go to Radio Erin every weekend. And I said, do you want me to go and get stuff? And they're like, oh, well, we don't know. And give them their due. They were like, well, you could get this. I said, no, just easier if I give you the cash and you go and find out what you need on that given day. And that's what I did, because they know better than me. So yeah, but food banks, if you're wanting to drop a wee bit thing in your shopping for a food bank, whatever you can afford that has very little cooking time is something to look at. So whether that's a soup, and don't get me wrong, I got some of those big hearty soups for the food bank before. They're like £2.50 a tin. I was not impressed. But there will be other things that you can get, even if it's like fruit, because people can eat fruit and custard and creamed rice out of a tin. You know, it doesn't have to be heated. So that is definitely something to look at. But thank you so much to everyone who put in the comments there with their knowledge so that we can take away from that. I really do appreciate that, because stuff I don't know. Also, someone had said about that it gets monotonous when you've got a very limited food source. And yeah, it does to a certain extent. But it doesn't take long, if you've got a freezer, to build up some emergency rations or to cook double and, you know, bulk up. Like when I did the sausage casserole, the majority of our meal was mashed potatoes and veg, and it was 2 sausages. So there's portions of sausage casserole in the freezer. So I have that for next week if I want it. I still have the meatballs because I wasn't eating earlier this week. I still have one of the turkey with creamy sauce with the frozen rice. So that's literally that, you know, the turkey and the creamy sauce with frozen rice. That is a full meal in the freezer. All I need to do is take it out in the morning before I leave. And that wasn't anything that I bought this week. And I think that makes a huge difference. Especially if, as we do, we look at Sunday's shopping and go, okay, that's £20, that's what I've got for the week. That can be quite a depressing thought, but I'm only on week 2. And by next week, there will still be probably a meatballs, there'll still be a sausage casserole. I'll still have pasta and rice. And I have to say, I looked at Asda, but I'll come back to that. Now, someone said, you're talking rubbish about the fresh food in the fridge. It doesn't go off that quick. My fridge is stowed. You know, I've had stuff that in it keeps for a week, so that's not, I don't know why you think that. So we will look at that this week. What my plan is, the plan is to go to Asda's at stupid o'clock on Sunday morning and see what's in the reduced fruit and veg and get whatever I eat, because I'm very picky about fruit and veg. Now, I will obviously get carrots because I like my roasted carrots, and I don't have carrots this week in the shopping, and I'm missing that. So I will get my carrots, and no matter what. And whatever else there is that's reduced, I will see how much I can pull together at reduced money and see what I can get. And then we'll see, because I think my biggest thing is, yes, if I've got like salad things, so say I've bought like the iceberg, the peppers, the cucumber, the tomato, that's like food for every day. That's every day I'm eating salad. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see if it's reduced. We'll see what I can do. Never let it be said that I'm not trying. And just by the way, the person who said about the food in the fridge and was like, do you know, yep, there's a lot of nags on here, but we prefer you to be healthy. That's what happens when you're famous. Really? Behave. I would have conniptions if I thought I was famous. Eek. And thank you to the person whose family member is a nutritionist who says cabbage and apples are the way to go. I have cabbage in the freezer. I will be having cabbage. So yeah, there's a whole lot of different things. And one of the biggest things is the monotony, oh my goodness, that's all I've got this week. But then you get that pasta thing, Kathleen and I have had that for years, and it was lovely. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, so much so I took it up for lunch. So, you know, if you've got things like that in your shopping that you can do that lasts you a couple of days, then that's a huge part of the battle. And things like, as I say, the sausage casserole or the meatballs, that if you can get something in the reduced section that you get maybe 4 meals out of, you're only going to eat 2 of them in that week probably. So that gives you 2 for the next week. Now, what I did do is I did have a look at Asda, and I was like, I could make a list. I could, you know, getting excited about going shopping with my wee £20 budget. And so far, I'm like, I'll get a chicken. because I can do chicken, I can freeze it, I can have meals from it, I can do chicken noodle soup with the stock, etc., etc. So chicken. And then as I'm going through, and I'm like, yep, I'll get noodles and I'll get this. And that's chicken noodle soup and that's chicken stir fry. And I'll get myself some onions and some mushrooms. So I've got peppers in the freezer, which were budgeted for in this week's shop. It's like, yep, that'll do me fine. I'm all sorted. And I was like, did you forget something, Anne? Toilet roll. So toilet roll has to go in this week's budget, as do tea bags. So I did all that, and then I'm thinking, chicken is the only thing you've got for meals. And I was like, right, okay. And then I had a look at sausages, and I was like, well, why would you have sausages? You have that in the freezer. And then I had a look at pork and was like, are you having a laugh with that price? So I will not be buying anything like that unless it's reduced. So I thought, right, okay, we're going the other way. We're going to get cheese. And we're going to get puff pastry. And I'm going to make little cheese and onion pasty things. And I can make chicken ones as well. And make a pie. Or buy eggs and make a quiche. So that's my plan so far. Whether it actually works or not, we'll see. At the moment, my pretend budget is £15. So we'll see how I get on. I'm going to go to Asda, as I say, first thing, and get the reduced veg just when it opens so that I've got as much as I can. And then we'll see what there is in the reduced meat section. If there's stuff there that I can take, then that's perfect. That's me done. I don't even need to go to Lidl's. So we'll see what happens. But I just thought I would come on tonight and go, yeah, this is a whole thing. And it's a whole thing that so many people are going through. And so many people are actually doing without any of the extras that I have in my store cupboards. As I said for the last couple of weeks, yes, they can possibly go to a food bank. But I'm sure I heard somewhere that if you get referred, you can only get referred like 3 times in however long. So you can't go there every week. So yeah, it's something to think of that, people are at this level on a regular basis. So here's hoping that for anyone that is starting to try and be more frugal, trying to look at things, that it's helpful. Certainly for me, who is on a huge, huge money-saving thing, it's making a difference with what I can put away, which is fabulous. So yeah, here we go. It's Thursday. I'm almost through week 2. I'm planning for week 3, just because week 2 shopping was rubbish because I had to do it from the house. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. Catch you later.